Hi, my name is Charlie from Volfpack Energy Private Limited. Our mission is to make cheaper, cleaner energy for all. So, what is the problem we are trying to address? In terms of renewable energy, which is great, it's super clean, it's good for the environment, but one of the big challenges with it is that it's intermittent. What do I mean by it's intermittent? If you look at a solar panel, if a cloud comes over the solar panel, the power drops. Take a look at this graph. This graph has a 10 megawatt plant over a day period. As you can see, there's a lot of fluctuations. So what do these fluctuations mean? When these fluctuations happen, it's very hard for CEB to manage and balance the grid, which means that if this happens too much, the grid can cut off and we will lose our power. So how do you solve this problem? In order to solve this problem, you need energy storage and batteries. So what are we trying to do? We're trying to make supercapacitors to combine with batteries in order to bring the cost of energy storage down. Our target is 50% cheaper than just using a battery-based solution. What are supercapacitors? Well, supercapacitors are energy storage devices. They just happen to store energy a little bit different to batteries. Batteries store energy with a chemical reaction. Supercapacitors store energy on electric charge. Supercapacitors are also really cool because there is no supply chain constraints. They don't use any precious materials, which makes it very easy to make. As you can see from this video here, you can see the activated carbon, we have these aluminum foil, we have hydrograph graphene that we're using, we have binders, and we have the electrolyte salt and the slurry. Now let's actually look and see how we make a supercapacitor. As you can see from this video, the first thing we do is we apply the slurry solution onto the aluminium sheets. We also heat it at the same time to evaporate the binder and the alcohol propyl so that it is stuck onto the sheet. The next thing we do is we take the separator and we place it in between the two electrodes. Slowly after that, we apply the electrolyte to the solution. Then we put it together and voila. Now we're just charging the supercapacitor. As you can see now, the supercapacitor is operating the fan. Our special mix with graphene has a 4x improvement compared to the competitors in the market. Now, this is simply a prototype. What we eventually need to do is put this onto a 6-meter aluminum sheet, roll it, and then insert it into these aluminum cans and then seal it. So, how does this all work together? We use supercapacitors and batteries together set up in hybrid systems to work together with other renewable energy sources such as wind and solar. By having this set up, we make it much easier for more adoption of renewable across the country, as the power producers will be able to produce much more stable and consistent power that is more predictable. One of the other advantages that we will have is we will significantly reduce the risk of fire. So the impact we will have is enables further renewable energy adoption at a much cheaper price. So let's talk about our business model to start off with. We have two main forms of income that we're planning. The first one is we plan to build a supercapacitor factory in Sri Lanka over the next 7 years, starting from a smaller plant of doing 100 supercaps per day, hopefully within the next year. We will initially be selling these supercaps individually to other electronics folks in the country and entrepreneurs, hoping that they can use this to solve other problems. On the same token, we'll also be working with renewable power producers of plants 10 megawatts and larger in order to design energy storage systems that are much cheaper and much faster operating using supercapacitors and other hybrid systems. So over the next year, our plan remains to build a lab-scale factory in Sri Lanka, which will produce up to 100 supercaps per day, whilst also working with renewable energy suppliers in order to build more prototypes and prove the concept and get Sri Lanka's grid renewable ready. The reason we joined the Dialog challenge is our opportunity to learn more. We're fairly new in this field, and we believe that any information or any advice can help us a lot. We might seem like we know everything, but we definitely don't. So Dialog provides a great opportunity for this. Our mission still remains to provide cheaper, cleaner energy for all, and that is what we intend to do, and we hope we will be able to achieve that. Thank you. Peace.